Well, I'm here in Maryhill Community Food Bank today announcing £500,000 of help from the Scottish Government to organisations like this one who provide emergency food aid to people who, through no fault of their own, can't afford to feed themselves and their families. This is important help. You know, the demand for food banks has been rising dramatically because of welfare cuts from Westminster, and the Scottish Government wants to do everything it possibly can to help. But of course, longer term, if we're going to deal with the underlying causes of demand for food banks, then we need in Scotland access to our own resources and our hands on the decision-making powers to build a better social security system to lift people out of poverty, and we need those powers in Scotland.
The other exciting development is, as well as the two food banks working together, we're also going to involve the Citizens Advice Bureau. It means that when people come to the food bank, they've got the opportunity to sit down with Citizens Advice and be signposted. So that's a fantastic development.
And we're involved in this project as a partner, and it gives funds as a part-time advisor to work out of the food banks as an outreach, and it's really good because obviously it allows us to do some intervention to stop people coming to the root causes of why they're here. So we could be looking at the benefits or underlying debt issues.
We've just set up Balornic Action Against Hunger, which is a new project for us, and we're getting into providing food banks. This funding is to help us join up with other local providers and provide access to money advice, legal advice and things through the Citizens Advice Bureau as well. So it's just to kind of take a joined up look and make sure people aren't travelling miles to get to the food that they need.
What's going to help us maintain the service we all currently provide at the moment, but it's also going to help us progress into a more needs-led service than what we provide just now. I don't have the time when I'm at a food bank to be doing signposting, because I'm responsible for 20 volunteers plus the service users, so that will help us expand the service and make it a much more needs-led service. Since June 2013 the numbers have doubled, and certainly the services grew arms and wings in regards to the need for the service. More young people under 17 are having to be fed by a food bank on a weekly basis within the greater Maryhill area of Glasgow.
Well, the funding will help centres like this one do the job that they do more effectively. It will allow them to do more to get emergency food aid to more people, and that's really important. You know, we've seen over the past year for Trussell Trust food banks alone a 400% increase in demand. But you know what? I don't want to live in a country where people are dependent on food banks to feed themselves. We're one of the richest countries in the world, and that's why we need the powers over welfare, social security, the minimum wage, access to our vast resources as a country here in Scotland out of the hands of Westminster, so that we can start to do something about the fact that so many people are dependent on food banks.